up on the menu, we have Gadoosh God is going to jail for a long time. Now, if you're not familiar who the Gadoosh God is, he is Wes Watson. And if you're not familiar with Wes Watson, well, he is basically the biggest lolcow. Almost the biggest. It's a toss-up between a lot of people who are just perpetually in a loser state, but he is a proponent for the biggest lolcow on the whole internet. If y'all want me to do more reaction videos on Wes Watson so we can go behind the lore and learn the legend of the Gadoosh God, just let me know. In the meantime, let's get about the video. Talk to me.
Did you go outside today?
No.
Did you notice that the air maybe felt a little bit better, maybe energized you a little bit more, just felt a little lighter?
Yeah.
Well, that's because Wes Watson, the Gadoosh God, is no longer breathing any of that free air, and it's looking like this might be curtains for his time outside of a prison cell. Because boy, howdy, I gotta tell you, this guy is addicted to criminal charges. He collects them like Pokemon cards. It's a pathetic existence.
Like, if you're not familiar with Wes Watson, he got big because he would tell the stories of what he experienced when he was in jail. And now he's going back to jail. Absolutely crazy.
And I don't want to just regurgitate the lore, because I've covered Wes Watson a lot on this channel, but he is one of the more entertainingly pathetic alpha male gurus out there. And now Wesley's facing even more charges on top of the previous charges from the assault case a few months back that I covered. And it looks like he's going to be going home. It looks like he's going to be going back to hooping that paperwork. If you don't know the breakdown, Wes Watson is actually a mutant. He's an X-Men. He studied at Charles Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. His mutation is his asshole's ability to stretch to unnatural lengths. He used to preach about...
Nah, I know that sounds wild, but hear me out. Wes Watson is notorious for telling stories of how he can shove various things up his bussy. Yeah, slow boom for that one. And he is proud of it. He's a proud teller of his ability to do those things. He would say dudes would look at his bussy and say, wow, it's a whole thing. No, he's not gay. Observably, he's not. He has girlfriends. I'm pretty sure he's into women, but it is kind of weird showing your bussy to other men if you're not a femboy or if you're not gay or anything. It doesn't make any sense to me. And Wes Watson is definitely not a femboy. Trust me, I know what femboys look like, and he is not one of them. Dead ass.
About just how adept he was at sticking papers up his butt. Even told a compelling, riveting story about how the other inmates didn't even recognize him by his face, but only by his ass.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Off his chocolate starfish, apparently. Honestly, no one's happier about Wes Watson going to jail than Wes Watson. I bet he's got the biggest smile on his face right now, sitting behind bars, fingers crossed, praying that he gets life, so that way he can return to paradise here. And honestly, that's the best for everyone. That's where he belongs, and the rest of society is safest with him there, and I bet he will be much happier. They did him a nice kindness here. They listed him at 6 feet. He's not...
This nigga's not 6 foot. He's not. He's just not 6 foot. I don't know why they did that. There was a whole thing that he crashed out because his height was vehemently not, in fact, 6 foot.
6 feet. The top comment kind of goes crazy. He accepted the full sentence in exchange for being listed at 6 feet. I think he just missed prison, because he is currently still out on bond, I'm pretty sure. So he picked up these 5 additional charges, assuming all of this is true. I still need to watch this video covering it, while on bond for other charges. This guy actually just wants to go home. He said, I don't like it out of jail. It's scary. People are mean to me. Doesn't he have a micro? Yeah, they call him Shrimp Dick. In one of those videos he made with his ex-girlfriend, she was like going upstairs naked and he was naked following her, but the goober fucking had his camera pointed at the glass on the stairs so you could see his wiener and it barely peeked over his ballsack. Yeah. Yeah, he's got Nerf dart wiener. Yeah. I know we're like 4 minutes into this
Nerf dart wiener. That is actually insane. Also, sorry if you hear background noise. There's a lot of things going on in the house right now. So, if you hear it, that's why. But Nerf Dart Wiener is actually fucking an incendiary comment right there.
You know, and I still haven't gotten to those charges, but that's because when you talk about Wesley Watson, it is irresistible to just talk about everything Wes Watson related, because all of it is, it's unfathomably pathetic. Like, it is just, you can't help but just vomit out all the Wes lore. He is just that much of a clown. Truly irresistible. The only thing more irresistible is good hygiene. All of you should be practicing good hygiene, so make sure when you take a shower you're using Cheeky soap. It's the best soap in the universe. Go to usecheeky.com right now. Get yourself some of the best soap out there.
A woman, the same one that he proposed to just the other day. He beat her down. He held her captive. So you guys remember just the other day, I showed you Peggy putting a ring on this girl like an asshole, only knowing the girl for only a month, right? Well, that same girl that he got down on his knees and put the ring on is the same girl just a couple days later may be the one to put Peggy in prison for a really long time when I tell you this story.
Yeah, it's not an exaggeration either. The new information here is extremely heavy. What he's done is completely unforgivable, and hopefully justice will prevail. I think this should be a life sentence for Wes Watson. We're going to dive in here. John Bravo went through the specifics of the case.
What happened?
There are 5 felony charges that he is now facing,
5.
in addition to everything that is still ongoing from the assault, and they are horrifying.
Peggy Watson, that woman beating piece of shit, was charged with 5 felonies in the state of Florida for beating the shit out of a girl like the coward we all know he is. And the next day, he was in court thinking he's gonna get out on bail, $115,000, right? Well, what happened was, the piece of shit, I think he paid it, thinking he's gonna get out. But then, the judge from the other case with the monster revoked his bail, so I'm hoping...
Oh, if you're not familiar with what he was talking about from the other case with the monster, this is not Wes Watson's first time assaulting someone, overly assaulting someone. The girl that he just assaulted, which led him to this time in the Big Apple that he's facing right now, that was not warranted at all. That wasn't warranted one bit. The monster case, it was kind of warranted because Wes Watson was going around saying, fight me, I'll beat anybody ass. He was acting like one of them kids in your classroom that just walks in there and goes, I'll beat everybody ass in this bitch. But he was doing it on the internet. So someone took him up on that challenge. Some 6 foot dreadhead black dude named the Monster took him up on the challenge, and Wes Watson jumped him. He jumped him. He didn't give him the faith of a one-on-one, even though Wes Watson was saying he would beat anyone with a one-on-one, and he jumped him. And his friends were assaulting him with dumbbells and gym equipment, and yeah, it was a whole fucking thing. Well, it turns out the judge from that case, because he did get charges pressed on him. Obviously, you and your goons assaulted him with weapons, essentially. The judge just revoked his bail from this case of him beating his woman, with, I would imagine, with an inch of her life, just like he did the monster. Because he was soccer kicking the monster while he was on the ground, face down and stuff. It was kind of hard to watch. So I can only imagine what he's done to the fucking woman. But I just find it funny how he posts the money and the judge's like, nah, we need this. I'm gonna need you to, you're not going anywhere. You're not welcomed in society. Nah, we're gonna need you to lay down, take this big one for a minute. Yeah, you're gonna take this big one. You're not, free world, we don't need you, brother.
And that asshole wasted his money and he's still sitting there.
Good. I know I talk about Wes Watson like he's some harmless bozo loser. And he is a bozo loser, but he's far from harmless, actually.
Very harmful.
He is genuinely just an evil piece of shit. Mm-hmm. He is a woman beater. Mm-hmm. He is just an unhinged lunatic.
Preach.
So, John Bravo is covering the Wes Watson case, the ongoing charges right now. So, he's reporting that Wes Watson maybe tried to pay the $115K to get out on bail, but...
Nah, we can't go like that. The judge said, nah, I'm gonna need you to thanks for the money, but give me that shit. Nah, you ain't going nowhere.
The judge from the previous case with the assault came in and revoked the bail. So there's a chance he is still just sitting in jail at the moment, which would definitely be for the best.
The defendant confronted her about her whereabouts, as she had not disclosed. She had gone to the game with her friend. The defendant, which is Peggy, began yelling at the victim, explaining he paid for her boob job, that she was disrespectful for having her boobs out, and that those are my boobs, also accusing her of cheating on him.
So this is where it all started in this new case. A woman that he's been seeing went to a basketball game without Wes's permission. He didn't know she was going to a basketball game with her friend, and she wore a top that showed too much cleavage for Wes Watson's liking.
Oh, wow.
So he then blew a gasket, had a fucking conniption.
So he beat her because she wore a top that revealed her titties too much at a basketball game. Very sensible, very sensible.
Saying like, I paid for those boobs. Apparently he had like,
insane statement, by the
paid
way.
for her to get a boob job, and he's like, those are my boobs. You're showing my melons. Those are my honkers. This is disrespectful. So he starts fucking freaking out and going ballistic about it. Now, if you're unfamiliar,
guys, you alpha males out there, you red pill losers that want to be, you know, Chad Thundercock, always hyper masculine, you know, can't go for anything that's not masculine. Oh, drinking a drink with a straw, that's gay because you're pursing your lips. You gotta fucking drown yourself. This is your king. This is one of your kings. Yet another one. Being hyper possessive over a woman to the point where it's saying those are my boobs and I own you. So I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you like you're my child. Like I'm an abusive parent. This is who we're idolizing? Interesting, interesting.
Familiar with Wes Watson, this is actually a very common thing. This is his mentality. The women around him, he tries to literally buy them. So he like gets them expensive gifts, and when he does that, he believes it's a transactional exchange, and now he tries to like claim ownership of the women.
Absolutely loser
He's a genuine
behavior.
Piece of shit. He buys them things and then says that they're his property now. Basically, the woman is. It's scary.
The defendant began to rattle and shake her by grabbing both of her arms forcefully. He continued to push, grab her by her hair, and slam her on the floor. The defendant then dragged the victim by her hair on the floor and later pinned her up against the kitchen table. He pushed and grabbed, manhandling the victim's face, causing a scratch to the victim's right cheek. The victim stated the defendant forcefully pinned her back against the table, causing her back to bend and hurt. The defendant began yelling at the victim, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you and your whole family." He continued to push the victim back down on the floor with force, picked her back up, and forcefully against her will sat the victim down in a chair. While holding a plate, the defendant threatened to break the plate on top of her head, told her he would grab a bottle and slash it across her face, break it on her head, and then told her he would kick her face in.
I'm skipping.
This motherfucker's a fucking monster, bro. Just a deviant, a devil. This nigga should not be seeing the light of day. Like, niggas like this need to go to like the 5th ring of hell or some shit. If hell is even real. It has to be. There's gotta be some fucking punishment, some due diligence done to this damn buffoon here.
Around a little bit here because it is pretty hard to listen to. It is disturbing.
Very hard to listen to.
The violence is brutal, and it's not the first time Wes has had allegations like this.
The third witness was the defendant's security guard, who told the victim to take accountability for her actions of wearing a shirt which exposed her breasts. So this asshole security guard is sitting there and telling her she shouldn't be going out to a basketball game showing her tits. What kind of world is this? When I have a girl and I'm with her, I want her to look as sexy as she can, so people look at me and be like, "That's a lucky mother." What's wrong?
And that's the right fucking attitude to have. Cause what are you scared of? If the girl chose you, you should have complete conviction in her choosing you. That's just how that works. Unless how you found her was not in not in the most righteous way, but even still, have faith in your fucking self. That she loves you for you, dumbass. this is all insecurity at the end of the day. This is fear taking hold of Wes's bald head ass and then making him do something that leads to fucking horrifying, as you can see, horrifying fucking outcomes, bro. Just absolutely despicable, man. I can't even believe what I'm reading. Like, I knew Wes was a fucking dickhead, but I didn't know he was a pack-a-punched dickhead goober beyond belief, bro. Holy shit.
With these assholes.
Wes Watson is a pile of dog shit that surrounds itself with flies. Everyone that associates with this guy and everyone he keeps in his circle is just as much of a scumbag as he is. So the security guard is now blaming her for Wes Watson brutalizing her. He's saying, well, you should have thought about what you were wearing to that basketball game. You brought this on yourself. What a fucking deplorable freak. This security guard here, by the way. How many times do you think he showed Wes Watson his asshole? Maybe that's part of the initiation process, and he feels like a strong brotherhood connection to Wes that he has to suck his small cock at every opportunity. Like, it's unbelievable to me how anyone could witness what happened here. There are witnesses, he is one of them, and then say, like, well, Wes was in the right. You did wear clothing that Wes didn't really deem appropriate. So, did you think about how this is actually on you?
The defendant did not allow the victim to utilize her cell phone or to
loser ass, sorry excuse for a man ass security guard. You watch him beat the fuck out of this woman, manhandle her, sling her all around and shit, and you're gonna say, well, that's what you get. I can't stand people, bro.
Anyone. The victim was forced by the defendant to tell her cousin she got the scratch on her cheek from derma peeling. Further, the defendant told her if the police were to have arrived at the residence, she needed to tell police she slipped on the rug at the residence. Throughout the altercation, the victim stated the defendant held her hostage and would not let her leave. The victim tried to leave the residence, but the defendant feared she would contact police, and due to being on parole, he could not allow it. The defendant continued to verbally abuse and yell at her. The defendant further stated, if I go to jail, something bad is going to happen to you, all your friends, and your family. The defendant further implied he would have girls jump the victim in order to ruin her reputation. The defendant further told the security guard, make sure she doesn't run, and had him stand by the door in an effort to keep the victim from leaving the residence.
This is called false imprisonment. This is another charge.
What kind of scary movie shit is this, bro? Holy fuck.
That he's facing as a result of this. As mentioned by John Bravo at the beginning, he is facing 5 new charges. These are very serious charges, and as you're hearing from this case here, extremely brutal ones. This is an absolute menace. Like, this is someone who should not be back into society at any point. Again, all of this is while he still has that assault case that's going on, which, in case you don't remember, was also extremely brutal. He ran over and soccer kicked a man who was already on his hands and knees hunched over. That could have killed him. And I believe his intent was to kill him right then and there. I bet he thought he was going to go over there with like a Mortal Kombat fatality, like he's kicking a fucking field goal on this guy's skull. Luckily, the guy didn't die. But I think it's pretty clear that Wes Watson has no problem with the idea of killing someone. And now he is beating this woman and threatening to kill her, and is now even having his security guard make sure she stays locked up here so that way she can't contact anyone. So that way he doesn't get in trouble while on parole. This is a complete madman who is out of control.
So that asshole security guard and Jose both took part in this shit. They should be getting charged too, those pieces.
They should,
I completely agree. They should also be facing some charges, and I hope they're in the process of cooking that up. They're not just complicit in it. From what I'm gathering here, they were enthusiastic participants in all of this. Again, the security guard is even blaming the woman here for everything that's unfolding, so I bet that vile rat was jumping up and down celebrating when Wes gave him the task of making sure she stays locked up in there. I bet he was just sitting up there, giddy, just waiting for Wes to get home to give him a little kiss on the forehead, a little peck right there, a little good boy from Wes, and a pat on his tush. Like these guys should also be facing charges.
While the victim was seated in a chair, he lifted the chair with such force he dropped the victim on the floor. The incident of physical abuse lasted approximately 40 minutes, but led into the following day. 2 days of this hell? During this time, the victim was scared and afraid of the defendant. She believed he was capable of killing her, and then himself, as he said such to her. The victim stated the defendant does have firearms in the residence, but was unsure how many. And then they show here, wow, so it's listing all the different injuries she had. And like I said, I seen the ones on her face, but I didn't see all this shit. This mother, he's a monster. Look at this shit.
Wes Watson is a monster. He always has been. And yes, I make fun of him a lot, and I clown on him a lot. I call him the Gadoosh God because this guy was addicted to reading every single DM anyone ever sent him.
Yeah, he was.
He would get trolled all the time. The word Gadoosh comes from a comment on Reddit that he was like really honing in on, saying like, they say I'm getting gadooshed. Ha! Me? Gadooshed? I think not. Like, I make fun of him for all of these things because it is like entertainingly embarrassing for this guy. But it is important to remember he is genuinely an evil worm.
Yeah, we've pretty much got the gist of it. He's a piece of shit, evil ass motherfucker, and he doesn't deserve to see the light of day again. Put his ass under the jail. Let the prisoners play with his butt, whatever he wants. Apparently they know him by his butt more than they know him by his face, so hey, send him back to where he's more comfortable, you know. With all that being said, let me know what you think in the comments. 1,000 thanks for watching. Have a better day than me.